Before they were famous, many people had many different jobs. A lot of guys and gals went straight from school into a trade, which is seemingly becoming a lot less common these days. There are tons who used to be electricians, plumbers, and bricklayers, to name just a few jobs. Today we're looking at celebrities who used to be tradies before they made it big, so stay with us. First up, it's Arnie. Before Arnie was, Arnie, he actually owned a bricklaying business with a friend in California. At the time, he was trying to make it big as a professional bodybuilder, and a friend from the bodybuilding world suggested they create the business to fall back on in case they didn't make it as a muscle man. In 1968, shortly after moving to the States, the pair decided to open up their business, and their initial idea was to undercut the competition. But because of their youth and unknown names, they didn't get much business. A rebranding was in order. They marketed themselves in the LA Times as European masonry and bricklaying experts, which did the trick. It was helped by an earthquake which caused a lot of damage, so business was good. So good, in fact, that the pair became extremely wealthy off the back of it, allowing Arnie to forge ahead with his bodybuilding and eventually movie career. What's your favorite Arnie role? We're talking about another bricklayer next. Stay with us to find out who. Believe it or not, like Arnie, before she was a comedian and TV personality, Whoopi also laid bricks. Apparently, she showed a natural affinity to the skill and was invited to join the Bricklayers Union. 1970s California was a very different place than it is today, and she would have been exposed to constant remarks about being a female in a male-dominated trade. This effectively served as her comedy apprenticeship, developing a very thick skin during this period. Whoopi went on to star in films such as Ghost, but is probably the beloved sister act movies she's best known for, which we also love. What's your favorite thing Whoopi has done? Harrison Ford joins us next. Before he was hired by George Lucas to play Han Solo, the story goes that a young Harrison was hired to do some carpentry at the studio of Lucas, and the rest, as they say, is history. Ford had studied drama early on in his career, but frustrated with the lack of opportunities, only finding roles as an extra, and after a bust-up with the head of Columbia Pictures, who told him he had no future as a movie star, he decided to focus on carpentry, also listening out for roles he was interested in. He did pretty well too, and the carpentry work made enough money for him to pick and choose roles he thought would be good for him. He was unwittingly hired to build a door at the studio where Lucas worked by Lucas's boss, who had seen some of Ford's earlier work. But Lucas wasn't interested initially. The day he was carrying out the work, Lucas happened to be around and noticed his movie star looks and persona. It's funny how these things work out, isn't it? What's your favorite Harrison Ford movie? The Prince of Darkness joins us next. Stick around. Ozzy Osbourne, the famed frontman of rock and roll band Black Sabbath, was once employed laying pipes. After leaving school with no qualifications, John Michael Osbourne joined up as a plumber's apprentice. By all accounts, he was pretty terrible at the role, did not last long at all. He packed it in before turning to a life of crime, ending up in prison. These were all just minor hiccups in Ozzy's road to stardom, and in 1967, Ozzy met Geezer Butler, who recruited him to become lead singer of his band, propelling Ozzy to superstardom. Michael Caine's up next. Born Maurice Joseph Micklewhite Jr., Sir Mike wasn't always a star. After leaving school in 1949, the aspiring actor had several odd jobs to make ends meet, whilst waiting for his big break. One of these odd jobs was as a plumber's assistant. During this time, London was still in pieces after the infamous Blitz of World War II, so there was plenty of work for tradespeople, and plumbers were no different. After seeing action in Korea in the early 1950s, his acting career really took off after his return in 1953, and we're glad it did. Having starred in over 100 movies during this time, he's one of the UK's and the world's most beloved film stars. What's your favorite Kane role? We love him in Zulu. A bona fide musical, God is up next. Before becoming an electric guitar whiz, George Harrison was employed for a brief stint at a store called Blacklers in Liverpool, where he served as an assistant electrician. It was painfully evident that Harrison wasn't cut out for life as a spark. As his own words, he kept blowing stuff up, so he got dumped. It's kind of imperative as an electrician that you don't blow stuff up. It was the push Harrison needed, though, as he went on to become one of the founders of arguably arguably the best band the world has ever seen, the Beatles. Bravo, George. Who is your favorite Beatle? Let us know below. Another bricklayer is stopping by next. If you're a bricklayer, you will be happy to know that once employed in your profession was none other than James Bond himself, Sean Connery. One of the most popular Bonds of all time, it might not have ever been. He enlisted in the Navy at the age of 16, but just after World War II, he was forced to leave due to an ulcer. Connery pottered around the UK doing odd jobs and ends, including modeling, laboring, lorry driving, and bricklaying, and was also a keen amateur footballer, but decided against pursuing a career in the game as he was already in his early 20s, and footballers are known to have short careers, with nowhere near the pay they're afforded today. We're glad it all worked out, as we cannot imagine that famous Bond line not being uttered by the Scottish legend. Who's the best Bond in your opinion? Let us know below. Next up is the King himself. Still one of the most famous people in the world, even though he's been dead for over 40 years, Elvis Presley was a true enigma. But what would have happened if he had stuck it out at one of his first jobs? Young Presley was employed by the Crown Electric Company, making deliveries and starting out on an electrician's scholarship. He even spoke of his humble beginnings, saying, "I was training to be an electrician. I suppose I got wired the wrong way around somewhere along the line." Thankfully for his legions of adoring fans still to this day, he packed in his electrician's apprenticeship, and the rest is pretty much history. What's the best Elvis song in your opinion? Let us know below. Joey's in the building next. Stay with us. Friends legend Matt LeBlanc, who comes from a family of tradies, was actually a pretty handy carpenter back in the day. He once told Jimmy Kimmel, "I made a complete kitchen and installed it in a house." Well done, Matt. His father was a mechanic and his grandfather a carpenter, so you could say carpentry was in his blood. LeBlanc went on to host Top Gear before appearing earlier this year in the Friends reunion, which we loved. Who's your favorite Friends character? Maybe the smartest man of all time next, Einstein, is with us. Before figuring out the theory of relativity, a young Albert Einstein could be found in the employ of Oktoberfest. His father and uncle had the job of making the festival the first ever to feature electric lights, and Einstein was tasked with hanging the lights, which were powered by a steam generator. Thankfully for everybody, he decided that an academic career was more his speed and went on to make some truly fascinating discoveries. The only man on this list whose decisions have affected you and me, we speak for the whole planet when we say we're delighted he decided to pack in the light hanging. If you're already an electrician running your own business or just about to start and grow your own electrical business, you must learn the 4 critical things electrical business owners wish they had learned before starting an electrical business so you don't make the same mistakes. Electrician Accelerator have put together a free training video you can watch for free right now. It'll show you exactly how to start, grow, and build your electrical business the right way so you can consistently guarantee profitable work, free up your time, all whilst reducing stress levels and allowing you to have sustainable and more profitable business that works for you. In this free training video, you'll also learn how to generate a steady stream of jobs on demand and with predictability month after month in your local area without relying on word of mouth and referrals, how to stop competing on price with other electricians and escape your competition, how to convert at least 90% of your quotes and estimates into sales, how to command premium prices and attract high-quality customers that'll be happy to pay more. Click on the link on the description below the video. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and remember to stop by next time. Bye.